Well, welcome everyone to Design Squad Latinx Engineering the Future webinar. It's so wonderful, to see you all today on this wonderful Saturday. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're coming from. I'm so excited to present this program to you. This webinar is being recorded, as I mentioned, so you will have the opportunity to watch it at your convenience later. The recording will be posted on the iEARN-USA website, which I will share with you later at the end of this webinar. So, hello, I am Yusuf Razak, and I am the program coordinator at Design Squad at iEARN-USA for the project of Design Squad Latinx. I was an educator for over 20 years in English and Spanish bilingual classrooms in the US, and an ESL teacher in Spain. I've been managing this project for almost 3 years at iEARN-USA. So to begin, as I think you have already done, please find the chat box, make sure your messages are set to everyone or to all panelists and attendees to participate in the conversations. And using the chat box, please feel free to say hello and tell us where you're watching this webinar from. I'm presenting this webinar from New York, and let's continue. So let's begin. What will we discuss today? Today, I'm going to explain about our partners, what DSL is, and how it is different from other STEM programs and engineering programs, a bit about the design process and how it is used, focusing on funds of knowledge, and explain what they are, and show you the Design Squad Latinx resources and student resources for educators, students, and where you can find them. We're going to share some presentations from educators who have already run the Design Squad Latinx program. And we're going to talk a little about how this was eventually tested and became a fully developed program. Then at the end, of course, I would love to hear any of your questions and answer your questions throughout the program, but especially at the end in the Q&A. Make sure, I will make sure to answer them at the end. It is important to note that all the resources and the videos that I will present to you today are free, and you will find them within the Design Squad Latinx project. Design Squad Latinx is a program that was designed in collaboration with iEARN-USA, GBH, and iEARN Orillas, and was funded by the National Science Foundation, NSF. Over the last 3 years, we collaborated with our partners to develop and eventually implement this program in various schools and after-school clubs in Puerto Rico, California, and Rhode Island. So your question is, what is Design Squad Latinx? Well, let's talk about it. Design Squad Latinx is an engineering club and includes a variety of engineering challenges in both English and Spanish to encourage young people, primarily ages 10 to 13 years old, to discover engineering and to motivate Latinx youth to consider engineering as a possible career in the future. The entire program lasts about 10 weeks or 10 sessions, depending on your program. Throughout the program, young people explore engineering through hands-on, fun-packed, and high engineering challenges or activities. They are introduced to the steps of the design process, and then, using their funds of knowledge, they are invited to solve client problems by creating innovative solutions and showcasing their unique engineering stories. In this way, Design Squad Latinx aims to serve as a bridge between young Latinos and the more formal world of engineering. Well, the goals of Design Squad Latinx include the following. First, we want to introduce kids to the design process by having them participate in engineering challenges that encourage kids to solve problems for clients. We also want to surface kids' funds of knowledge and help them value what they've learned from their families, community, and culture. And of course, we are encouraging kids to perceive themselves as designers, creators, and engineers. And hello, everyone. I see other people are jumping into the chat. It's great to see you. Hello, Alina. Hello, Kristen. It's good to see you all there today. The design process. As I've talked, the students will be introduced to the 4 steps of the design process. These 4-step engineering process involves these 4 things that are labeled right here. First, the youth identify a client and their problem, who need help and what they need help with. The clients represent people in their community that each youth or each child might know. The clients represent people that each youth have seen and find interesting and meaningful in their lives. So accessing their own funds of knowledge, the youth brainstorm and design possible solution for the client's problem. They choose their favorite idea and use various tools and materials to build a prototype that shows how their ideas would work. Then they test that prototype. They identify what works and what doesn't and redesign it. Finally, they share this information about the client, the problem, and the solution with the club or a wider audience. And this is involved in our showcasing. So here's an example of a client. And let's look at this example from the Discover the Design Process module included in this project. So this is Valentina, and she loves to garden. Her favorite things to grow are tomatoes, lettuce, and peppers. She has a small gardening space. But she has some special requirements. So she asked the students to help her with her problem. Can you design something that will help her grow lots of vegetables in a small space? So the idea is for Valentina, the kids would build a prototype to try to solve her gardening problem. And these are the clients that kids are trying to help in their community. Now, to solve these problems, we ask kids to access their funds of knowledge. So what are funds of knowledge? The funds of knowledge are the skills and abilities an individual has from one's family, community, culture, and experience. We all have funds of knowledge. And Design Squad Latinx uses a strengths-based approach to engineering, which consists of valuing and applying those funds of knowledge with respect to many aspects of life, including how to deal with engineering challenges. This makes this project different from other STEM or engineering programs. Let's learn a little more about funds of knowledge with this interactive training video presented by 2 educators, Kim Gonzalez and Ray Zapata.
Every person has their own funds of knowledge.
Funds of knowledge refer to the knowledge, skills, and talents and abilities that an individual develops over time from experiences with their families, community, and culture.
And it's important for you to create an environment that supports your club members' funds of knowledge.
Hi, I'm Raymond Zapata, and I'm a middle school science teacher at Boston Green Academy.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm the Design Squad Latinx content manager, and I'm a STEM educator. By acknowledging and valuing your club members' funds of knowledge, you create an environment where they're empowered to use their expertise to solve problems.
All too often, communities traditionally underrepresented in engineering do not feel that their knowledge is valued or appreciated in the design process. This can prevent youth from participating in engineering or make them feel that engineering is not for them, which isn't true. Additionally, when you value what youth and communities already know, you end up with better engineering solutions.
That is why creating an environment that supports your club members' funds of knowledge is important. It helps create more inclusive and meaningful experiences with engineering, and it helps gather the best information and resources in your community.
So how do you do this in your club?
Here are some ways to create an environment that supports your club members' funds of knowledge.
Value it. As your club members discover or share their funds of knowledge, make sure to acknowledge and celebrate their abilities whenever possible. Engage with your club members and stories and show enthusiasm for the funds of knowledge youth engage within their home and community.
Make connections. As you guide your club members through engineering activities, make connections to their funds of knowledge. Share connections between the engineering activities and your community with the club. Ask questions like, has anyone seen something like this before in our community? Does this remind you of anything? Ask if anyone they know, a parent, guardian, or friend, has worked with anything related to the engineering activity.
Share your funds of knowledge. By sharing your own skills, experiences, and knowledge, you model for your students ways to value and apply funds of knowledge. Share examples of your funds of knowledge and how you have used them to solve problems in your home or community.
Welcome different ways of knowing. Every student comes to your club with their own funds of knowledge. Embrace the knowledge your club members have and be willing to learn from and with your club. By showing you are willing to share and listen to your club members, you give them the opportunity to feel comfortable bringing their knowledge to your club.
Reframe and refocus. Engineering activities can be really challenging. If you ever hear club members start to use negative language like, I can't do this, or I'm not smart enough for engineering, remind them of all their abilities and that getting stuck is normal. All engineers deal with unexpected outcomes. Emphasize the abilities they already have, which can help them solve their problem.
And remember, it's not just about any one person's funds of knowledge. You have a whole club filled with experiences, interests, and knowledge. Encourage your club to collaborate and share with one another, even with community members beyond your club.
By valuing and emphasizing existing cultural and community knowledge, you will create more meaningful and empowering engineering experiences for your club. Here's where you can find more engineering activities and resources.
Well, thank you very much to Ray and Kim. And you see a little more about funds of knowledge there. You've seen in that video. That video is included in our free resources. And let's take a look at those free resources for educators and kids that are actually included in the Design Squad Latinx project. In the Design Squad Latinx presents a comprehensive collection of free bilingual multimedia resources that can be customized to meet the needs of a wide range of engineering education experiences, from a seasoned veteran to a new professional. So what this means, you don't have to have any experience in engineering or STEM education to be able to facilitate this program. The collection is flexible and allows educators to use the resources to complement an existing program you have at your school, or supplement another classroom instruction, or create an entire new engineering club. I'm going to share very quickly the link of PBS media platform that you can find the information from. So we're going to take a quick look or a brief look at the self-guided interactive leader training and the free resources on the PBS learning media platform. Educators or club leaders are encouraged to complete the leader training before they facilitate the program with their students. And here we have the Design Squad Latinx page. I hope everyone can see that. So this is on the PBS learning media platform. And just briefly, this is where you can find all the resources for Design Squad Latinx. As I said, we encourage our leaders or the educators to look at the training first. So if you look at that training, you can go to launch, and that will launch this page that will show you the different training guides, and it's completely self-guided. So teachers can go through this on their own before they facilitate a club. Now, you can look through these pages, and this will show you different pages throughout the 19 pages of this. Now, your free resources are also a glossary. You also have a training summary and the training guide at a glance. So a quick, brief training. Now, of course, as we mentioned, these resources are in Spanish and English. So on this training guide, you can click up here to Español, to Spanish, and you can also find that information in Spanish for your clubs. Go back to English, and we're going to go back to the main page. Let's see, there we go. On the main page, you can also find your engineering challenges. So you have your activities right here below that show the different videos, or you can go to your different clubs, an introduction to each club. And once again, in English and in Spanish. Perfect. So those are your free resources. Now, those free resources or those activities also include modules. And we start with module 1, as we mentioned, discover the design process. So this is where kids learn about the engineering design process and how it's used to solve real-world problems, as I mentioned. Module 2 focuses on pulleys. And kids learn how the engineers use pulleys to solve problems. And they watch an introductory video about how they can construct a pulley to raise a flag for Dia de la Bandera, or Flag Day. Then module 3, they create their own engineering challenges. So this means they use all the knowledge that they have used, also their funds of knowledge, from the previous modules, and they create their own engineering challenge. And finally, we have module 4, which is showcase your work. And kids in this module, kids create a showcase event telling the story of their engineering design project, and they learn about the value of showcasing, mapping out their story to create a presentation and practice and rehearse that presentation, and then participate in the event. And this can be shared with their club, with their school, or even a wider community. As we've seen in some of our clubs before, this has been shared with parents and with members of the community. So this is a wonderful part of the Design Squad Latinx project. Right now, I'm going to show you a little introductory video, as I talked about, that are for the kids. And this introductory video is about pulleys.
My name is Kim and I love engineering. Engineering is all about solving problems by creating things that help make people's lives easier. I first learned about engineering from my dad. My dad works as a window cleaner. He gets to climb up really tall buildings, like he's a superhero. Sometimes he gets so excited climbing up those tall skyscrapers that he forgets the little things, like his lunch. I remember him showing me how he uses a pulley system to lift his lunch up so he doesn't have to go all the way back down the building. Now that's one delicious engineering idea. So, what is a pulley? A pulley is a simple machine consisting of a wheel with a groove where a rope can fit. A pulley is used to lift things up, like lunch or anything else you might need. But how does a pulley actually work? When force is applied to one end of the rope, the pulley changes the direction of the force. This means that when you pull down on the rope, the other end of the rope is pulled up. With a single pulley, the amount of force you pull down with is the same as the force that pulls the object up. If you had a second pulley, called a 2-to-1 pulley system, you are changing the distribution of how force is applied. Therefore, you only need to pull down with half of the force, making it easier to lift a heavy object. Just yesterday, I saw a ton of pulley systems in my neighborhood when I went for a walk with my dog, Neo. We walked past a school where I saw flagpoles that use pulleys to raise and lower flags. We walked by a construction site and saw a crane with a giant pulley system. Then, I walked all the way to my favorite park, where I saw a bridge being lifted to let a boat pass underneath, all using a pulley system. Once you start looking for pulleys, You'll find them all over the place. What pulleys can you find?
Wow, there's so much about pulleys, and it's amazing how many pulleys we can see every day. But this is what we're teaching and showing the kids to learn a little more about engineering, especially if they've had no knowledge of it before. Now that you've learned about the design process, funds of knowledge, and seen the free resources and videos, let's hear from two educators and their classrooms about their experience with Design Squad Latinx. First, I'm going to present iEARN Rivera, who's going to show us a little video presentation about herself. And she's a school librarian and teacher from Genara Bow School, Corozal in Puerto Rico. Let's listen to iEARN.
Hi, I'm iEARN Rivera. I am a librarian teacher at the Genaro Bow Elementary School in the Cibuco neighborhood of Corozal, Puerto Rico. I had the opportunity to work at Design Squad Latinx from October to December last year. I worked with 10 fifth grade students, and I will tell you my experience with Design Squad Latinx. What did I know about engineering? Nothing, but engineering is for everyone. My students learned of the knowledge funds. What can I do? Skills. What do I know? Knowledge. What have I done? Experience. All of this and competition for engineering led us to conceptual framework. The conceptual framework, find out, value it, and apply it, bring us to discover the design process. My students enjoying the process of building, testing, and redesigning. In the design process, working with pulleys was the most likely. In this process, I saw my students very persevering, motivated, to be analytics, with a lot of security, developing leadership, being collaborative, with responsibility and very creative. When they presented their work, they decided to do first to the other student of the school. They were very happy and using microphone and photos showing the process and sharing solutions and interacting the designs with the other students. Finally, it's exposed the work to parents, teachers, and community. I believe that Design Squad Latinx opened up the possibility for my students to see engineering as an alternative in their futures and develop them the necessary skill in the 21st century. Design Squad Latinx offered my students a unique and dynamic opportunity to build their own learning. In addition, it allows to identify how the knowledge funds make it easier for us to carry out the design process. Before to end my presentations, I would like to give thanks to iEARN-USA, iEARN Orillas, Puerto Rico, Fluent Research, and all the coordinators and collaborators of this project for their dedication and having teachers and students like us, offering us opportunities and everything we need to enjoy permanent learning experience. It was a pleasure and thank you for your attention. Bye.
Now, thank you very much to iEARN and her class for participating in this project. Another educator that we'd like to look at is Mr. Nestor Quetel, and he's a school librarian and a teacher from San Juan, Puerto Rico. And we're going to listen to his students and talk about their experiences with create their own engineering challenges and showcasing their projects. Now, I want to let you know that this video is in Spanish and it is subtitled in English. So let's listen to the classroom of Nestor Quetel.
En los talleres del Club de Ingeniería aprendimos que los fondos de conocimiento, que son nuestras experiencias pasadas, las podemos implementar en nuestras soluciones. Lo más retante fue el tiempo limitado que tuvimos para crear cada proyecto. Lo más divertido fue trabajar en equipo y traer todas las ideas juntas para crear una solución para el cliente.
De lo que aprendimos en este taller es a construir cosas con materiales limitados y usar nuestra imaginación para ayudar a resolver problemas con diferentes clientes. Lo más retante fue pensar en ese tiempo limitado, ya que estábamos cansados y todo eso. Sí, lo más divertido fue encontrar materiales y básicamente construirlo todo y ponerle vida y color a todos estos instrumentos.
En la exposición habíamos aprendido cómo presentar nuestro proyecto de Design Squad y en una actividad así tener muchas personas como que preguntándote sobre tu proyecto ayuda como que a tu habilidades de como que poder presentar y como que y como hablar como que al frente de muchas personas.
Lo más divertido del sábado fue que presentar los proyectos a varios padres, ¿verdad? Estoy agradecida porque muchos padres vinieron a nuestra mesa donde estaban nuestros proyectos y cada uno preguntando qué hicieron aquí, qué hicieron acá, y pues nosotros pues pudimos explicarle qué fue lo que hicimos en cada proyecto. De verdad, nos felicitaron, estuvieron bastante orgullosos y felices de nuestro trabajo.
Well, thank you very much to Nestor Cattell and his classroom. As you can see, some of the showcasing projects and the final designs, what you can do with Design Squad Latinx. So as you have heard from Eileen and Nestor students, these tests obviously were tested by educators and their students before we published the program. Some of the clubs also participated in our virtual exchange pilot on the iEARN Collaboration Center. In the program testing, club leaders told us how engaged their students were with real-world challenges and how these challenges helped build their confidence. Design Squad Latinx was tested as a pilot program in Puerto Rico and in the United States with 3 pilot clubs. Then the program was revised after listening to research feedback from the educators and our partners and was implemented in 44 clubs in Puerto Rico and the United States. iEARN worked with 4 clubs from the experimental clubs in Puerto Rico to create a virtual exchange pilot on the iEARN Collaboration Center. Here are some quotes from educators from the virtual exchange pilot. And as you can see here, we have Nestor Cattell again, the school librarian, and talking about his youth, and also from Adriana Perez Medina from Naranjito, Puerto Rico. And she's talking about how the confidence was built in her students. And lastly, here are some images from the various clubs in Puerto Rico that collaborated in the virtual exchange pilot. Here you can see pictures of students learning about the design process, redesigning prototypes, creating the pulley systems that we have learned about, and of course, showing their work. I am very happy to present Design Squad Latinx. I thank you for joining us today. But as I've noticed some questions or some comments in the chat box here, this is a perfect time. If anyone has any specific questions about Design Squad Latinx, please put them in the chat box. I'd love to answer anything that you have about this program. So let's see, I've seen a few people. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Alina. Yeah, it was a very interesting project. I definitely encourage you to look at these resources and find different ways that you can use it in your classroom. Now, we talk about the funds of knowledge and the culture and experience, and this is designed for Latinx culture, but can be used for any culture. This is giving us an understanding of a Latino side, but can be used in so many different classrooms around the world. And that's what's so great about this program. Thank you very much on your comments. Wondering if anyone, there you go. Are these materials only for Latinos? Yes, as I mentioned, this is for everyone. This is a global education that we really want to extend to all different cultures and communities so they can find their funds of knowledge from their cultures. If you're coming from, I think we saw from Azerbaijan, and from different countries here, we have from Mexico. Also, thank you, are these modules organized for all ages? They're primarily for ages 10 to 13. So we're talking middle school ages in the United States, but this can be adapted for different ages. It can be a little older or even a little younger. And that is pieces that you can take from this program to use in your classroom and redesign it yourself a little, adapting to the age group that you're working with. Well, on that note, I want to thank you very much. You can find these free resources, and I will put them right here in the chat. You can find the free resources and more information about Design Squad Latinx on the iEARN-USA website. We will also have the recording of this webinar on that site, so please check that out. And that is the site right there for you to look at. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at yusuf@us.iEARN.org. And I'm just going to share that in the chat with you. Once again, I just want to thank and congratulate the entire GBH team and the iEARN Orillas team, Kristen Brown, who is here with us today, Enid Figueroa, Annabelle Rivera, and Arlene Garcia for their incredible support and dedication in developing this program and all the work they have done to make this program a success. Truly, thank you to all our partners and the educators who participated in this project. And thank you very much for attending our webinar today. We're going to end a little early. I hope you check out Design Squad Latinx and able to implement this amazing program in your classroom or your after-school clubs. Thank you to everyone. Oh, there was one last question here. Yeah, and I mentioned earlier, is any engineering background necessary on the part of the teachers or students? It is not. You do not have to have any prior knowledge of engineering. Our programs, our educator guides are designed for anyone to be able to help students, support students with engineering ideas and learn about that themselves. As you heard Eileen Rivera, she had no knowledge whatsoever about engineering, and she loves the program and was able to implement it in her classroom. Well, everyone, thank you so much once again. I hope you have a chance to look at this program, and I wish you the best. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Saturday or Sunday, and we will see you on Design Squad Latinx or on the iEARN-USA platform soon. Take care, everybody.